Hi guys, it's Arsh Ellahi, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a really important topic about grit, determination, maintaining motivation, and also getting it done and finishing it, and also benefiting from the reward of all your hard work. Now, before we do that, I need a little bit of work from you. Would you mind pressing the subscribe button, hitting the notification bell? Every time I release a video, you get notified of it. So let's get straight into it. This is a really almost like a momentous occasion for me, because for the last couple of years, some of you may or may not have known that I've been training for an Ironman event. So for those that don't know, an Ironman event is a full Ironman event is 2.5 mile swim in open water, so a lake or in some occasions ocean or a sea. On top of that, after you've come out of the water, you then go off and do 112 to 117 mile bike ride depending on the course. And then when you get off the bike, you then go and run a full marathon, which is 26.2 miles. So as we record this, I'm actually sat here in a bit of pain, and it's good pain because it's the kind of pain that makes you realize that you've actually achieved something. So I entered the Ironman Bolton back, I think it's 2 years ago, because I wanted to complete this challenge that I set myself, a physical and mental challenge. 2 years ago, I wanted to get it done before I was 40 years old. With COVID and with the world going into turmoil, that didn't happen. So I had to now do it, instead of doing it in 2020, I now had to do it in 2021. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story. I went and entered Bolton, but I didn't complete it. And it's not because I didn't have the ability to complete it. It's because I decided to not be selfish and help someone else along the way. So on the track or on the bike, so I came out the water on the bike, I actually cycled 99.2 miles, and then I saw a lady in distress. She'd fallen off her bike, she's in a bad way, and I decided to stop with her. Now, it's worth noting that I'm not the fastest cyclist, I'm not the worst, but I wasn't anywhere near the front, let's put it that way. And so I sat with this lady, made sure that she remained conscious. And as a result, I completely forgot about being in the race. That's the honest answer. And when I did get back on the bike, once the paramedics had came, they said that I'd spent too long with this lady. And as a result, I now had to forfeit the race because I wasn't able to catch up the time that I'd missed. So that hit me quite badly. So considering that I trained for almost like a year, maybe slightly longer, for this event, to only find that I had not completed it was quite tough, especially for someone like me. If you're always wanting to finish, if you're always wanting to do to the best of your ability, now you've got to ask yourself the question, what would you have done in my scenario? Would you have stopped and helped? Or would you have gone with the mindset is, that I've been training for nearly a year, maybe 2 years for this event, no one's going to stop me. So if someone falls over, I'm going to cycle straight past them. And admittedly, I did cycle straight past her for about 5 seconds. And I turned around and said, no, I have to help. And so as a result of that, that kind of made me forfeit my race. So finished, I was almost like disqualified. You get a DNF, do not finish, did not finish. And I took that really tough, because someone like me that finishes everything, and someone like me that tries to put myself into all, I couldn't deal with it. So the next thing that I did, I entered myself into the next event that I could find. There's nothing in the UK. So I had to go abroad. And lo and behold, the local one was Hamburg, which is in Germany. And the event was to be held on August the 29th in 2021. And I went there with the mindset that don't care what happens. Someone falls in front of me, I'm cycling straight past. I'm carrying on. I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to fail twice. I felt like I failed once. More importantly, after the first event, I decided not to tell anyone about the second event, and I was worried of failure. I felt I failed first time. I told everyone I was doing Ironman in Bolton. I had everyone behind me. Go on, Arsh, you can do it, you can do it. I didn't complete it. And regardless of the circumstances, the result on the website remains the same. DNF, did not finish. That's almost like having a big red stamp of rejection next to your name. And I couldn't deal with that. So I decided not to tell anyone. The only person that knew was my wife and one or two other people that I train with. And even then, they doubted me. They said, Arsh, are you sure you want to do this? It's too close. You know, perhaps you're emotionally engaged, but you're not physically engaged, or you're not training, or you're not doing all the training that you should be doing. So I had to switch them off. I had to literally turn out the noise, turn off the noise, switch off from the noise. And I started training in silence. So I'd go out early in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and before I came to the office at 9 o'clock, I would have done 60, 70 miles on the bike. I'd go and swim at the local pool. They open at 6 to 6:30. I'd go and do 40 to 80 miles in the pool. I'd go out and start running for 4 hours before, and I trained and I trained and I trained because I knew that if I wasn't going to fail a second time. And the worst thing is that I didn't fail the first time because of the ability. I think I could have completed, but I would never have known. So as far as I was concerned, the challenge was not done. Now, Hamburg came, and guess what, guys? There is a medal, and right above it, I'm going to see if I can show you this. But there above it, what does it say? Finisher. Not only did I finish it, I absolutely smashed it. And the reason why I'm telling you this story is because there'll be times, regardless whether you're watching this for a first time, whether you're watching my channel for a first time, there'll be times where people will doubt you. There'll be times where people tell you that you can't do it, you shouldn't do it. Even, the company Ironman was saying, well, I'll tell you what, perhaps you can do Ironman Bolton next year. I didn't want to wait another year. So sometimes you have to turn off and switch off to the noise. My friends, my family, with almost like doubting my ability. And sometimes you've got to know that what you've got inside, you can do, and you've got to go with that gut feeling. I knew that I had to do this. And the results on the day were outstanding. I'm not sure if you can see this, but in actual fact, I had this engraved, and I've put my daughter's name and it says it says Anya. Daddy is an Ironman, so Anya's my daughter's name, and it shows my times there. So I completed it in 12 hours, 31 minutes and 56 seconds. I ran a sub 4-hour marathon after being beaten on the bike and a grueling swim. Now, when you doubt yourself, sometimes you need to use these to your advantage. You need to use these so that when you're on the bike and it's raining and it's really tough and your mind's telling you that perhaps this wasn't the best idea, you've got to go back and dig deep to the reason why you're doing this. And my reason when I was doing this was the fact that people didn't think I could do this. And I've carried this pretty much throughout my whole business life. When people thought I didn't have the ability or couldn't do a specific transaction, I go and prove them wrong. Now, I'm recording this a few days after the completion of the Ironman. And even now, some of my running friends are saying, Arsh, how did you run a sub 4-hour marathon after being on the bike for 112 miles? And the honest answer is, I don't know. So there would have been a lot of desperation in there. There would have been a lot of adrenaline in there. There would have been a lot of pain in there. But more importantly, it's about what goes on in here. Your body will do whatever your mind tells it to. Now use this as a motivational video or whatever you want to use it for. But on my way to the start line, I listened to some motivational quotes. And the one thing that stuck with me was a quote that says, "You've not come this far to only come this far." And that stuck with me throughout the whole triathlon, throughout the whole Ironman. Arsh, you've trained for 2 years for this moment. Don't let it put you down. More importantly, regardless what you're doing, remembering you're doing it for a specific reason. Now, for me, the reason, and I don't mind sharing this, was that it's not about the event. It's not about the fact that I can swim, bike and run. It's about showing my daughters that if you work hard enough for something, that you can achieve it. They saw me when I came back from Bolton, a deflated person. And they kept asking, "Daddy, did you win?" And the answer was, "No, I didn't." And they said, "Why not? Why didn't you win?" And so when I went to Hamburg, I could not face that level of questioning again by a 6 and an 8-year-old, 2 little girls. So I had to come back with an answer. And the answer was, and the question that they asked me, this time it was, "Daddy, did you finish?" And I walked in and I said, "Yes, I did. And I finished because I put all the hard work in." So hopefully this is a little bit of a story, and hopefully you get the theme that if you put the time in, you put the hours in, you put the effort in, and you've got the grit, you've got the determination, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. Now on the Ironman, I saw people, all shapes and all sizes, all competing, all going through a different mental and mind battle. But yet they all completed it. There's nothing stopping them. The only thing that was stopping them was themselves, but they were winning that battle. So whatever you're going through right now, believe it or not, there are people out there that have got it twice as hard or twice as worse. So relieve yourself, remove yourself from that situation and look at it from a different perspective. Can you do this? Yes, you can. That is the answer. Yes, you can. Are there people out there in a much worse situation? And don't just think of it from a local point of view. Think of it from a national or an international point of view. And the answer is there will always be someone a lot worse off than you. What's stopping you from fulfilling the thing that you want to complete? And in my scenario, it was me. I doubted myself. The people around me were doubting me. So I removed myself from that scenario. I removed myself from that environment. I removed myself from the WhatsApp groups. And I bet on myself. I believed in myself. And the end result is this. So guys, there it is, a completely different video to something that I'm used to, talking about business, but more so sometimes you need to hear the fact that, you know what, you bet on yourself. You actually put yourself forward and say, you know what, I'm going to do this. And you'll be surprised at how much you can actually achieve when you block out the noise. So guys, there you have it. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. Please, if you resonate with this video, leave a little comment below. Say, Arsh, congratulations. Give me a quick thumbs up. Say, Arsh, you've done it. Arsh, you smashed it. That'll do something great for my ego. But more importantly, if I'm not a training coach or nothing like that. However, what I can do is probably point you in some directions of the things that I did to get me through. Feel free to leave some comments below and I'll try and answer as many as I can. So guys, on that note, if you want more free content, more so property content, I release a podcast which we release every Tuesday at 6 a.m. It's called The Property Rebel, where we look at defining property troubles, and more so the podcast is called The Property Rebel, and the tagline is not conforming to the property norm. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an indication as to what the podcast is all about. Feel free to go and check it out. You can find it on all podcast channels, so Spotify, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, just to name a few. As well as that, you can find me on social media. Find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram and Twitter, and Clubhouse. Finally, if you haven't already done so, have you downloaded the Property Investor app? The UK's first property investment platform, which showcases all kinds of deals all over the country. Whether you're looking for below market value deals, rent to rent deals, lease option deals, just to name a few. All you got to do is either go to our website, propertyinvestораpp.co.uk, or if you've got a smartphone, go to the App Store, type in Property Investor. Take you 2 minutes to register and download. And it's really as easy as that. Guys, I'm still on cloud nine. And the reason being is that I came home with some medals. In actual fact, I came home with 2 medals. I made sure that they gave me twice. They gave me 2, and I got them both engraved for my daughters. And these are their keepsake, to show them that their dad completed this. Their dad pushed through all the pain and all the barriers and overcame all the questions. So my body asked me 99 questions. I came up with 100 answers. And guys, you can do this too. So on that note, guys, I wish you all to be safe, well, and happy. And I look forward to speaking to you all very soon. Thank you and bye-bye.